Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. The Bold and the Beautiful's Taylor has heart attack over ex and new girlfriend. The Bold and the Beautiful fans believe Dr. Taylor Hayes' secret will soon be revealed. Taylor saw her ex and his new girlfriend kiss when her heart gave out and collapsed. Dr. Taylor Hayes, Rebecca Budig, biggest secret could soon be revealed. On the Friday, September 27 episode of The Bold and the Beautiful, Taylor was sitting behind the scenes during a shoot of Brooke's bedroom line. When it was over, Taylor decided to snoop behind a purple curtain and watch Brooke and her ex, Ridge Forrester, Ron Moss, hold each other while exchanging some words and a kiss. Taylor's heart started to race, with one hand curling up of anger. She was starting to have a hard time breathing, so she put her hand on her chest when the curtains were undone and she collapsed on the floor. The Bold and the Beautiful fans pass over Steffi and Hope fighting over their parents' storyline. The Bold and the Beautiful fans, sick of Brooke questioning Hope about Finn. Ridge was left alone, and when he heard the curtains getting undone from the hooks, he noticed Taylor going down with it. He quickly ran to her and asked her if she could hear him, but she did not move a muscle. Some Bold and the Beautiful viewers believe that her secret will be revealed, while others could not believe she had a heart attack over Ridge. One person on X, formerly known as Twitter, wrote, "Taylor has a heart attack as she watches Brooke and Ridge make out." Another person wrote, "Imagine having a panic attack over Pose Ridge laughing face emoji. They really f Taylor up what?" A third user posted, "I know Taylor isn't going to spend what she thinks are her dying days running after Ridge like a puppy." A fourth wrote, "Taylor just collapsed. Pretty sure it's going to be hard to keep her condition from her family now. Just ask Eric." Taylor recently decided to visit her daughter and grandchildren because she found out that her heart was failing. The only people that know of Taylor's condition are Brooke and Lee Finnegan, Naomi Matsuda. She begged for Lie not to reveal anything to anyone, especially Finn, Tanner Novlin, who is married to Taylor's daughter Steffi Forrester, Jacqueline Messins Wood. Taylor explained to Lie how she wanted to enjoy every last moment with her grandchildren and family because she did not have much time left. She even decided to put her difference aside with Brooke. Taylor Hayes sat on the terrace of her Beverly Hills mansion, sipping a calming herbal tea and gazing at the sunrise over the horizon. The day had barely begun, but her mind was already racing. The familiar knot in her chest, the one she thought she'd left behind, was starting to tighten again. The reason? Ridge. It had been months since she and Ridge Forrester had parted ways for what felt like the 1000th time. Every time she convinced herself that she was over him, that she had moved on, life had a way of throwing her back into the whirlwind of Ridge and his endless romantic entanglements. And this time, it wasn't Brooke Logan, her eternal rival, who was in the picture. No, Ridge had a new love interest, someone young, vibrant, and unexpected. Charlotte Sinclair, the up-and-coming fashion designer who had just taken over the headlines with her bold, innovative designs. Taylor had tried her best to ignore the buzz. The tabloids had been full of pictures of Ridge and Charlotte together, attending glamorous events, sharing intimate dinners, and strolling arm in arm along the French Riviera. They looked happy, youthful, and free, and every image felt like a dagger to Taylor's heart. She had promised herself long ago that she would no longer be consumed by Ridge's love life, but this was different. Charlotte wasn't Brooke. She wasn't part of the constant cycle of familiar heartbreak. Charlotte was new, fresh, and worst of all, she seemed to bring out a side of Ridge that Taylor hadn't seen in years. As Taylor sat in her tranquil surroundings, her phone buzzed on the glass table beside her. She hesitated, already knowing what she would find. Steeling herself, she picked it up and opened the latest headline, "Ridge and Charlotte, the next power couple." Below it was a photo of Ridge, smiling with that signature charm of his, as Charlotte looked up at him adoringly. They were attending some high-profile fashion event in Paris, completely wrapped up in each other. Taylor could almost hear the whispers in the fashion world. Is Ridge finally done with Taylor and Brooke for good? Her hand trembled as she set the phone down, her chest tightening with emotions she had been trying to suppress. This was a different kind of pain, one she hadn't expected. It wasn't just jealousy, it was loss of hope. Hope that she and Ridge would somehow find their way back to each other one last time. That maybe, after all the years of back and forth, they could finally have their happily ever after. Taylor stood abruptly, knocking her teacup to the floor as she did. Her heart was racing, her vision blurred. She pressed a hand to her chest, feeling the panic rising, but this time, it wasn't just emotional. She felt a sharp, searing pain shoot through her chest, taking her breath away. She gasped, clutching the edge of the table for support, but her legs gave out beneath her. The world seemed to spin as Taylor crumpled to the floor. Her breath came in ragged, shallow bursts, and the pain in her chest grew more intense. She tried to call out for help, but no sound came. Is this it? She thought. Is this how it ends? Alone, with nothing but the memories of a love that had never been enough to keep Ridge by her side? As darkness began to close in, the sound of footsteps echoed in the distance. Taylor blinked through the haze, trying to focus. A figure rushed toward her, but everything was too blurry to make out. She felt herself slipping away. When Taylor awoke, the harsh light of a hospital room greeted her. The sterile smell filled her nostrils, and the beeping of machines brought her back to reality. Slowly, she realized she was hooked up to an IV, and her heart was being monitored. She tried to sit up, but a wave of dizziness stopped her. "Whoa, take it easy," a familiar voice said softly from the side of her bed. Taylor turned her head, and there he was, Ridge. His face was etched with worry, his brow furrowed in that way she had seen so many times before. But this time, there was something different in his eyes. Fear, genuine, palpable fear. "Ridge," she croaked, her voice barely above a whisper. He leaned forward, taking her hand in his. "Taylor, what happened? You had a heart attack." His voice cracked on the last word, and for a moment, she saw the man she had loved for so long. The man who had once made her feel like the only woman in the world. A heart attack. The words echoed in her mind, but they didn't feel real. She had always prided herself on being strong, independent. But now, here she was, vulnerable, weak. "I'm fine," she muttered, trying to pull her hand away from Ridge's grip, but he held on tighter. "No, you're not," he insisted, his voice filled with urgency. "Taylor, I don't know what I'd do if I lost you. You scared the hell out of me." Taylor laughed bitterly, though it hurt her chest to do so. "Is that what it takes to get your attention, Ridge? A heart attack? I almost died, and now you're here, playing the concerned ex." Ridge flinched at her words, his face falling. "That's not fair," he whispered. "Isn't it?" Taylor's voice grew stronger, fueled by the emotions she had been burying for too long. "I've spent years waiting, hoping that we could be something again. And every time, you choose someone else. First Brooke, now Charlotte. What am I supposed to think?" Ridge looked down, unable to meet her gaze. "It's not like that with Charlotte," he began, but Taylor cut him off. "Then what is it? A midlife crisis? A fling? Because it sure looks serious from where I'm sitting." He sighed, rubbing his hand over his face. "I don't know what it is, Taylor. I don't know." Taylor's heart ached, not from the attack, but from the endless cycle of uncertainty. She had loved this man with everything she had, and yet here they were, stuck in the same painful dance. "Maybe it's time to stop trying to figure it out," she said softly, her voice laced with exhaustion. "Maybe it's time for me to let go." Ridge's eyes widened, panic flashing across his face. "Taylor, don't say that." But Taylor knew, deep down, that this moment had been inevitable. Ridge would always be a part of her, but she couldn't keep sacrificing her heart for a love that would never be hers to fully hold. "It's time, Ridge," she whispered, closing her eyes as a tear slipped down her cheek. It's time for both of us to move on.